Hello and welcome back to Pilates with Marilyn. My name is Marilyn Harder, Pilates instructor and Pilates master trainer. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 11, Flow With It. So I am starting with a TheraBand in an external rotation, making sure that those knees are rolled open and in line with the second toe. Remember, you can do this workout without that TheraBand, so if you don't have one, just find that external connection. I've got my gloves on, ready for any plank work, wink, we're doing today. All right, so palms face forward, roll those shoulders up, back, and down, and let's take deep breaths. Big inhale in through the nose, and exhale, blow out all that air. Full and complete exhale. Let's go again, big inhale in through the nose, and exhale. Feel those abdominals connect. We'll do one more. Big inhale in through the nose. Exhale, blow out all that air. Find that core connection. And we're going to start with some lateral penguins. So we're just going to slightly rock from side to side, and the goal is to not allow those legs to melt in towards the center. We're warming up the lateral glutes and finding the connection where the abdominals support the pelvis connects through the glutes and our leg muscles, and our core supports our trunk on top. We want our full body dynamic connection. Okay, now let's go ahead and float to balance. You can take it down at any time. Our focus today of Flow With It starts with the decision to do. Your decision is to give it your best effort in your body today without competitively hurting yourself, right? Connection over exercise, and pausing in areas that you're not quite ready with and enjoying that, or flowing with it and giving yourself that extra challenge. All right, let's go ahead and go one more. Those lateral glutes should feel very much on, and then I want you to widen the set just a bit. Knees are tracking to the toes. And then we'll go ahead and take a nice inhale in, and we're going to sink down into that wide second position. Really try and wrap those knees open and then engage to lift. Now I'm taking my arms with my legs because that's what felt natural as I began. So flowing with it today, I want you to focus on what feels most natural to you. If coming down into that squat feels better, to then keep the arms down and standing up, taking them out wide, take it there. There is no wrong way to do it as long as it's pain-free. We'll go ahead and go two more. Again, we're just zipping up that connection, the control of the glutes with that pelvis. We'll go last one. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and stand up, pivot on your mat. We're gonna find the back edge of your mat, toes in front of heels, find a nice lateral stance. And I want you to flex your toes off the earth, finding the ball of the foot and the center of the heel, and then lightly press them down. All right, we're going into a push-up. Take a nice big inhale in. Those hands can come up and over, or they can slide down your body. Tuck the chin in. Imagine you're diving over an imaginary waterfall. Try and keep the toes floated off the earth. Our goal is to keep the abdominals engaged and the hips over the heels. We're gonna walk our way out. Now, we're gonna pause in that best plank, shoulders back and down. And let's just go ahead and lengthen, crown of the head in one direction, heels in the other. And we're going to pike back up, drawing the hips up towards the ceiling. Inhale in, pause at the top, shoulders back and down. Now, you can stay here. We'll do a total of 3. Now, if at number 3, pike back up, you want to go for it, we're going to go for our push-ups. So instead of continuing to pike to plank, hold it there, elbows wrapped to the floor, and let's bend through that as elbows and press it away. Elbows towards the rib cage, really finding that tricep connection. We'll go 2 more. Last one. Make sure the ribs are drawn in. Pike those hips up. We're gonna walk our way back. Now think about the purposefulness of each time you set those hands down. Find the anchoring through the feet. Flex the toes up and draw up those abdominals, one vertebrae at a time to the top. All right, we're gonna go again. Take a nice inhale in. Arms can come up and over, or this time they can slide down. Curling through the chin. Slowly rolling it down. Finding that lateral engagement with that TheraBand. Try not to let your hips sit back like mine just did. And we'll go ahead and walk our hands forward. In 3, 2, find that purposefulness, find that carpal arch. Armpits press forward, tailbone towards the heels, lengthen in 2 directions. And then we'll go ahead and we're gonna jackrabbit, meaning I'm gonna press through my hands, bend those knees back, and engage and press forward. Now, if your body is not ready to flow here, go pike to plank. Good, think about a table being on your deep lower back. We'll go ahead and go 2 more. We're not messing around today. Some days you just have to jump right into it. Last one. Good, now as you lengthen out, we're gonna pike back up and we're gonna walk those hands back purposefully. Really trying to anchor through those feet. Float the toes up, drawing up from those abdominals, restacking it back up. Nice and tall. Last but not least, we're going right into that push-up. Total of 3 push-ups, then we're gonna carefully take our knees to the floor. Big inhale there. Exhale, start to curl down through the chin. Really focus on trying to keep those hips stacked over the knees. Knees over the heels. You're going over an imaginary fence, drawing up our abdominals like a chest lift. Now let's go ahead and walk our hands out. Arrive in 3, 2, 1. Elbows bend. Think about organizing your plank, including your head and neck in space. And we'll go ahead and go 1 more. Now here's your choice. 1 knee down at a time, or jackrabbit back and slightly tap down those knees. All right, keep the engagement through that TheraBand. Sit back and find your breath. Let's just feel that breath expand that back body. Big in through the nose. And exhale all the way out the mouth. 1 more. Big inhale in through the nose. And exhale all the way out the mouth. All right, let's go ahead and roll over onto one side. We'll take that TheraBand and we will move it up to just above the knees. Again, no TheraBand, no problem. Just head to your side lying position. All right, let's check in. Rib stacked over rib, hip stacked over hip, bottom toe is anchored, bottom heel is lifted, and then let's go ahead and make sure the tailbone's reaching towards the heels. We're gonna press open on that TheraBand. Now, for me, usually the first 2 are an exploration of movement. And number 3, I go, okay, now what's disconnecting? We wanna feel it in that deep lateral glute, not inner thigh, quad, or IT band. So see if you can squeeze from that space. Get your bones in better alignment and continue to press. So for me, with a hypermobility disorder, I have to really think about where my bones are in space. So I set my heels in space first, then reach the tailbone towards the heels, and I think about my pelvis as a bowl. Now the rib cage, bottom tips of the ribs are pointing towards the hip bones, and then the back of the ribs are pointing towards that tailbone. And then of course the neck is long, finding that deep double chin and active in space. Then we want to make sure that hip is down slipped, top oblique is elongated, which will lift up that bottom rib. Oh yeah, I'm definitely right into that glute med now. And we'll go ahead and go 4 more. Then we're gonna hold it at the top. So our goal here with these clams is we're gonna do multiple sets. It is that connection and the fatigue. So if you need to take a break at any time, you pause and break. Now hold it at the top. Make sure your butt doesn't kick out. Keep it engaged. Tiny little lifts and lowers. Oh, I can already tell this is going to be a fun class. I know what's coming. You don't. So flow with it. See, okay, I'm not thinking about what's coming. I'm thinking about what's here. Each moment is one set of one. We'll go ahead and go 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Go ahead and lower it down. We'll roll onto our back. So we're going to warm up those abdominals with the TheraBand. Set the feet, lift the hips, and just let them go. Thunk them down. All right, finding that engagement of the lateral glutes, hands wrapped behind our head, shoulders back and down. And we're going to go ahead and exhale, chest lift up, eyes gaze towards the thighs. Give yourself that deep double chin. If you don't need those hands there, take them away. See if you can build those deep neck flexors without that support. Don't let the chin jut forward though. You should feel a stretch in the back and work in the front. All right, palms are up towards the ceiling, and we're going to exhale and just press into that TheraBand. Inhale it back in. I'm going to support with one hand. Exhale in, and inhale it in. Now try and flatten that core, wide and flat. Oh, got harder. And we'll go 2 more. And then last one, hold it out there. And then we're going to go ahead and go up an inch, down an inch. At the rib cage, not at the neck. And 3 and 2 and 1. Lower it on down. All right, let's go ahead and extend those legs out nice and long. Find the engagement in the TheraBand. Roll those legs open and make sure you're not imprinting in through that low back. We want a neutral pelvis, hands come up over our head. Inhale here. Now exhale, we start to chest lift up out that rib cage. Continue to flex up and over, sticking that tailbone out, press out into the TheraBand. Keep that C curve. We're coming up and over like a chest lift, but not diving to a hamstring stretch. And we'll go ahead and curl it back under, drawing that tailbone underneath us. Really trying to lengthen out. Neck is long. We're rolling it 1 vertebrae at a time. All the way to the bottom. We'll go 1 more, then we'll stay up at the top. And exhale, chest lift up. Keep that deep double chin. Roll and round it up. Think about lifting out of the spine. Deep C curve forward. And then we'll go 1 more time. Rolling it on down. We're going to leave ourselves up at the very end and roll to the other side. Inhale here. Exhale. Chest lift up. Round it up, round it up, round it up, up and over. And then we'll spin around the other direction. All right, time for clams. Finding that perfect side lying position for you. Line the bones up in space. I like to set my heels first, tailbone towards the heels, pubic bone up, finding the bowl of the pelvis, bowl of the rib cage, lengthening through that neck. All right, down, slip the top hip, up, slip the shoulder, opening that oblique, lifting that bottom rib, and then that's where we're pressing open. Perfect alignment equals targeted practice. If your hip rolls forward, or your shoulder rolls back, or vice versa, you're going to be losing that deep connection with the lateral glute. This is what I like to call my fun hip. Oh, there it is. I know where it feels connected when I'm in my best alignment, and my videos for you are my challenge to myself to keep my alignment without a mirror or feedback. So flow with it. Just roll with it. See if you can start to drop into your body and recognize patterns. Recognize when you feel powerful. Recognize when something takes over. And you guessed it, I'm not talking just our physical movement. Now, sometimes dropping into our body triggers some body image things, body image issue. I promise if you focus on form and function, you start to have a neutrality about your body itself. My body, my right hip, again, fun hip, but I don't judge my movement. I don't care if you judge my movement. My movement is specific to mine. And your opinion of my movement is really honestly none of my business. You should operate in life that way. We'll go ahead and go 1 more because I know what this feels good. It feels right. Hold it up there. tiny little presses. So I'm a real person in front of you doing Pilates for what I like to call my dysfunctional body. And my dysfunctional body loves me when I do it. So I can't be mad that I don't look like Pilates goddess, which, by the way, respect and love Pilates goddess, but my body's a little different. Who cares? Flowing with it. Okay, I've made the decision to accept the way that I was put together and love on it just as hard as if I was put together the way my mind used to think. Now catch that. My mind used to think I needed to look. Last one. Go ahead and release. Let's go ahead and roll over onto your back. Let's do a little bit more ab work. Okay, hands come down by our sides. Flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Find that imprint. Draw in those abdominals. And let's go ahead and float those legs up. Now, if this is not accessible for you, remember you can tuck that towel underneath from season 1 modifications. And let's go ahead and slowly toe tap. Now, if you found this in season 2 and you're thinking, gosh, what, this is not for me, go back to season 1, find all of the baby steps to get you here. This is not born overnight. This is the work of conscious control. We'll go ahead and go 2 more. And last one. Oh, that was my best one. And then we'll go ahead and slowly set one foot down, leave the other up. Now there's some tension into that TheraBand. Drawing the TheraBand into me, I'm going to take the opposite hand behind the head. Inhale here, exhale, rotate up and across. Hold it there, making sure I'm not side bending, so straightening things out. I'm going to inhale center and exhale across. I'm using the tension of the TheraBand both towards me and in opposition, so both open and horizontal and vertical, to deepen that awareness of my deep lower oblique. Now I'm going to pull it in just a little bit more and lengthen it out. Okay, this will act as a hammock for the leg on the way out, coming up and over and across. Woo, I am definitely feeling that connection. We'll go ahead and go 2 more. So the TheraBand will act as resistance both for the back side of that body on the way down and the front side of that body on the way up. The ultimate goal is to feel this without the TheraBand. I said 1 more, but I usually lie. And go ahead and bring it on in. All right, we'll go the other side. Float that knee into tabletop, find that connection. And exhale, chest lift up and over. Now find that resistance laterally that you need and horizontally towards you, superiorly. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center, lower it down. Ooh, there it is. My hip likes to hike up on this side, so I'm using my right hand to keep my hip from hiking. Use your hands, use any tool of awareness that you can use on the weaker sides of your body. We'll go ahead and go this one. I'm going to bring it in. Woo! Hello, lower oblique, deep lower oblique between my belly button and pubic bone. I can tell I am really trying to pull through my head, so I'm going to reach instead because I don't want to do that. My thoracic or mid back is not as flexible this direction because of my scoliosis, which is part of my hypermobility disorder. We'll go ahead and go 1 more. That's okay. I know it and I work with it. This is a lot of targeted practice. Set your head down. All right, let's extend those legs 1 more time. We're going to roll up, set up for our second sets. Big inhale here. Exhale, chest lift up. Roll it up to that tall seated position. We're going to adjust our TheraBand. So bringing it in, feet are flat, tall through the roots of your sits bones. And we're going to exhale and we're going to hinge it back. Oh yeah, I said adjust, but I didn't say rest. Come to the tippy toes of those toes. And while you are unrolling that TheraBand, because thighs, I want you to really find the deep lower abdominals and nice flat back. If you feel like your hip flexors are taking over quite a bit, which is the crease of the legs, just roll those knees open, find resistance in that TheraBand, and curl that tailbone under just a bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and come back halfway. My hands are on my legs. If I need an assist, pull it back up. The goal is to keep it in the abdominals and not into the low back. So if you feel it in the low back, use your arms just a little bit more, pull yourself out of that low back, and really focus that breath into the belly. And we'll go ahead and go one more. Whew, I am feeling the core work. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn around and we'll do our second set of those clams. If you feel like, ooh, I've hit my stride, Marilyn, you're at 20 minutes. Go ahead and give yourself the reprieve and say another day. Otherwise, give it your best shot and flow with it. Organize those bones, lift that bottom rib, elongate that top oblique. Okay, heel tips up, but hips don't tip forward. And let's go ahead and press it open. So, even though we're technically pressing open with one leg, both lateral glutes are working at all times. You got it. Keep going. Ribs are drawn in. Just going to close my eyes and take the notice inward. Where am I feeling it? Am I compensating? Closing your eyes and dropping into your body and out of your head will give you the most message. Oh, I felt my hips had rolled and I untwisted it, and now I feel it back in that lateral glute a little bit more. If you're not sure how to untwist your hips, if you find the lowest rib, the top of that hip, they should be stacked one or the other. If one's twisted forward, the other's twisted back, you can feel that and just subtly shift and change. Oh, baby. And I am already feeling melty. I had written that my goal was to do 25 to 50. I don't know about all of that today. So if you come back to this and you think, you know what, I'm going for 50. The goal was 2 sets of 50. First set, I kind of cheapened out at about 30, and I think it's going to be about the same for the second set. So we just listen to the body we show up today. Omit some of those roll-ups and focus on those lateral glutes. All right. We'll go ahead and we'll go 5 more. And 3. And 2. Let's go ahead and press it open. Now tiny little presses. Oh yeah. Target that glute med. Make sure it's coming into the deep rotators of those hips. Oh, my hip down slipped. It got a little easier. And 3. And 2. If it feels easy, your body's not in the right place. And 1. And let's go ahead and lower it down. All right, rolling onto our back, we're gonna do some bridges with that TheraBand. All right, finding that pressure into the lateral TheraBand, heels in line with the sits bones. Good, and we're just gonna dig those elbows in by our sides right now. And I want you to go ahead and take an inhale there. Exhale, blow out all that air. Find the ribs drawn in. Invite the abdominals all the way to the deep low obliques. Let's do one more breath there. Really get them connected. And exhale. There they are. All right, digging those elbows in, pressing into that TheraBand, finding toes in the heels. Start to engage the glutes and lift those hips. And inhale, lower and tap it down. The pressure in your feet will tell you what you need to know. Try and keep it even, heel to ball of the foot. If it's heavy to the heel, transfer pressure to the ball of the foot. If it's heavy to the inside of the foot, transfer pressure to the outside of the foot. Try and get it even all the way across. So if you had a pressure sensor underneath all parts of that foot, they would all read out the same. We'll go ahead and go one more. Now hold it up there at the top. Find that even pressure. Heels pull towards your glutes just a bit. Let's press open on that TheraBand and slowly resist in. Now, as you're pressing open, try and keep equal pressure in your foot. Woo! Notice how much more those glutes fire up when the pressure is even. And we've got 5 more. Don't judge it, let it be what it is. If you're feeling things in your low back, remember, you come down even halfway. And last one. And then let's go ahead and slowly articulate it down, as long as that's right for your body, all the way down to the bottom. All right, extending those legs out. Let's try and widen them to the outsides of the mat. Hands come up over your head. Take an inhale here. Exhale, we're going to come up and rotate to the right. Chest lift up. As soon as those ribs leave, think about oblique rotation towards that right side. Think crunch, rib to hip. Now, let's go ahead and curl it back to center. So slowly curling it down. As soon as the pelvis hits, rotate to center. And chest lift up. Same side. Roll and round it up and over. If you have sticky parts of that spine, no problem. Just allow them to be what it's going to be. Go back to previous episodes. Find out all the tips and tricks to keep that spine in neutral. All right, let's go up the left, shoulders back and down. Inhale here. Exhale, chest lift up. Come up, 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 and over towards the left. And then draw it back down. Notice I'm drawing my shoulders back and my crown of my head back. I want to make sure that I'm not jutting forward to counterbalance. The goal is to stay connected front to back. Chest lift up. It's harder, it's harder, it's harder. Rotate, round it over, and stack back up. Let's swivel to the other side. All right, last set here. Hang with me. We're not quite done, because after this, we're gonna remove the TheraBand and we're gonna do a little bit more. So, get those bones in alignment. Ribs over ribs, hips over hips. And let's go ahead and press it open. Find those connections in space. If you don't feel it in the right muscle, figure out if there's any twisting going on. Oh, there it goes. Oh, fun hip, how I love thee. In fact, I do love my fun hip. My fun hip is my barometer for my practice. When my hip feels extra fun, I know that it is time for more clams. I know that it is an indicator to get back to my work. So I am grateful for my fun hip. So if you identify with that statement, own it. A perfect quote unquote body doesn't exist. Your body is perfect for you. You just have to recognize the gifts that are in front of you. My body has been my best educator, both in my nutrition practice with an autoimmune disease, as well as in my Pilates practice with all of the fun pieces. And because of it, I do better for others. And that's the greatest gift, is not what I can do in myself, but what I can give back to others. We'll go ahead and go 4 more. Last 2. Those last 2 are the hardest. Hold it up there. Okay, now go ahead and tiny little presses. Abs are drawn in. Oh, keep pushing through. Flow with it. If you need a rest, you rest. We take that TheraBand off. We're going to stretch and move into our last segment. You can stop at the stretch if that's for you. We'll go 4. It's going to be back into some more progressive planks. Last 2, well, really they're pike rotations. And 1, whew, and let's go ahead and roll it onto our back. Let's take that TheraBand off. Thank it for its service. Get out of here. And find our figure 4 stretch. Now you can hang out down here. You can pull it in. You can stay up and lifted. Just give your ankle a little roll. Sometimes, like I've spoken about before, those ankles like to compensate when that lateral glute is not strong. So if you saw my feet doing weird things, I know, they like to do that. That is part of my practice. And let's go ahead and go one more good deep breath. And then let's switch. I'm also grateful for an interesting body because it takes a whole lot of pressure off of you. You don't have to look like me. In fact, you probably look better than me, and that's okay. And I'm good with that because it means you're moving, and that makes my heart so happy. Now let's go ahead and roll the other direction. And my hope is that my cues are deep enough to take your practice to a new level. And whether it is a fun body or it's an athletic body that you have sculpted and honed over the years, love on it. All right, let's go ahead and set that head down, and we're gonna move to our crescendo. So if this is it for you today, thank you for coming. Otherwise, let's move on to all fours. All right, we're gonna start with a quadruped hover. Let's go ahead and spread those fingers out wide, roll into the pinky side of that hand, find that carpal arch, engage the abdominals, think length, tail to crown. And inhale there, exhale, press off those knees. Okay, we're gonna hold this for 5. You can do it, squeeze the buns, squeeze everything. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tap those knees down. Take an inhale in, and we're gonna send it up to a pike or a downward dog. Just walk your hands out just a bit. Inhale here, exhale, float it on up. All right, walk your feet out to the width of your mat, and then walk your hands in until you feel like this is your rotation or your depth. All right, so what we're gonna do is engage the glutes, press it out to a plank. And then we're gonna pike it up, float to our left hand and rotate right hand to left foot. And then plank it out. And then rotate over. Squeeze the buns, find the abdominals. Let's go one more set. Don't judge it. Don't judge me. Last one. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center, shoulders back and down. Slowly set those knees down. Wide knee child's pose. And breathe through. Okay, we flowed with it today. Take a good deep breath into that back body. And let's take ourselves over to one side. Breathe into that side body. And over to the other side. Now, as we finish our stretches, I want you to just take a moment and give yourself congratulations. And I want you to pick one thing that you pushed through that was new for you. Maybe it's a connection you found. Maybe it's newfound stability. And we'll go ahead and come back to center. Finish out with a butterfly. Maybe it was an exercise that you've tried before, and today it just felt a little better. And we'll take better over perfect. So feet together, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, hinge it forward. And just really try and lengthen out through the crown of our head. Find your gratitude for what makes you special. Find gratitude for things that you have previously cursed. I challenge you to find gratitude in all things and notice what life brings back to you. So with that, I thank you for spending this 30 minutes with me on yourself, on your self-practice, on your exploration of movement and your self-care. Join us at corporatehippiconnection.com for lifestyle tips and tricks. And I thank you for your self-practice today. You are worth it.